Welcome back, friends. It's time for another edition of If You Know, You Know. Joining now is Morris Bart. Good to see you, my brother.
Great. Happy to be here.
Happy to have you here. And look, we're coming to you from the Tchoupitoulas Art Corridor. I love taking people here because you really get to see history. Yeah. This is your first time here.
This is my first time.
What do you think?
Well, it's fascinating. I got to admit, I've driven down Tchoupitoulas Street 100 times. I never realized all these beautiful murals are here. It's fascinating to be out here today with you for Black History Month, seeing these murals.
Absolutely.
And I know we have a certain panel here that we've specified because it has such a great message.
That's right.
But there's so many of them. I was really surprised to see it. It's a feast for the eyes.
Absolutely. It's completely free to come and check out. It's right near the Walmart on Tchoupitoulas. Right. And I love taking people here because you get to learn so much about not only Black history, but New Orleans Black history. And one place that many people may have been to or maybe have not been to is Whitney Plantation. Are you ready to hear the story?
I am definitely ready to hear it, and it coincides great with what we're seeing along here.
Absolutely. Well, here's the story of Whitney Plantation.
My name is Dr. Ashley Rogers. I'm the Executive Director of the Whitney Plantation.
I'm Trinice Cooper, Deputy Director of Operations.
Whitney Plantation was founded initially in 1752, and it was a working sugarcane, indigo, rice plantation for over 200 years. It finally shut down in 1975. And so it was established by the Heidel family. A lot of people from New Orleans are familiar with that name. They came from Germany, and over the course of about 100 years, they enslaved over 350 people from West and Central Africa and from the Upper South, coming down to the domestic slave trade. So this was a really significant plantation, and the person who purchased it after the Civil War, Bradish Johnson, is the one who named it Whitney Plantation. So today it's known as Whitney Plantation, but during the time of slavery, it wasn't given that name. It was known as the Habitation Heidel, the plantation of the Heidel family. The name Whitney Plantation comes from the person who purchased the plantation after the Civil War. His daughter had just married into the New York Whitney family, so he was naming it in her honor. The Whitney Plantation became a museum when it was sold to John Cummings, who was our founder. He spent 15 years restoring it to the way it looks today. It had been abandoned for a long time. We opened to the public in 2014. When you come as a visitor, what you're going to be touring is a series of historical buildings that are original to the site. So we have 13 original buildings. We're on the National Register of Historic Places as a historic district. Our buildings are as old as 1790 and as recent as the 1950s. And then in addition to the historical grounds where we're sitting right now, in the slave quarters is where we are right now, we also have a museum exhibit in our visitor center that people can visit that talks about the context and the history of slavery in Louisiana. But then the thing that makes Whitney Plantation really unique in terms of how we interpret the history of slavery is that this is a memorial site. We consider ourselves a site of memory. It's a place where people can come to not only learn about the past, but also reflect on it. And so there are 4 memorials that people can visit while they're here that name and honor people who were enslaved in the state of Louisiana.
First, this is the plantation that every American needs to see because this is American history. This is the foundation of America. And now that we're at our 250 years, this is an opportunity for everybody to come back to the source of how America started. So it's not just a place of talking about the traumas and the horrific institution of the slavery institution, but it's also talking about how America got started and what it was started on the sweat, tears, blood of the African enslaved people here.
Whitney Plantation is Black History Month 365 days a year, so that's first. We love Black History Month because it shines a spotlight on some of these stories that are so intrinsic to American history. You cannot understand American history, you can't understand America today unless you understand Black history. And so I hope that when people come here, this is what I always say, is that I hope that they look at their world differently. I hope they read the news with new eyes. I hope it changes their actions and changes how they engage with their communities. Because at Whitney Plantation, we don't just talk about the history, we talk about the legacies of slavery. And we are still living with the legacies of slavery in this country, and that shows up in all different aspects in terms of the legal system, the education system, housing, you name it. And so there are very real ways that people can take what they learned here, reflect on the past, and get involved to do better right now.